Hey leaders, hope everyone's doing well. I've been here with me today. We just have an announcement we have to make, and there's really no fun, easy way to make it. So we're just going to kind of talk about a journey that we've had for the past couple weeks in student ministries. This started in a meeting in which Jerry, myself, Rob, and Ben were in. And we were talking strategy for the future. And as we started looking into the future and a lot of things that were coming up, Rob had a very pastoral, insightful thing when he had just kind of said, Matt, in lieu of everything that your family's going through and Ian and all of that, is this a conversation that's right to have on the future of the ministry and the future of your family? And after just this whirlwind of emotion of yes, no, I don't know, we just kind of came to this realization that, this probably isn't the time that I pour more energy into the ministry for the sake of my family, for the sake of the ministry even. And it was a very hard conversation to be in for all of us, but part of the comfort was that we all kind of arrived in it at the same time. I went home, talked to Carrie that evening, and she was in agreement that yes, this probably is a time to step out indefinitely. So, friends, there's no easy way of saying that. That was basically after several long conversations that we really arrived at that place that it's time to step out for a season. And just honestly, coming to Mountain was a challenge to begin with. It was going to be a good challenge for me in the ministry, my leadership, and all those things. And certain aspects I feel went very well, and other aspects we just knew we were missing the mark some. And when you come into the concept of not wanting to, just not willing to want to inhibit what's going on here. Ben had said in that meeting, which was very strong, we know that God has a plan for Mountain Student Ministries. In 2010, 2011, God's going to move in this, and it's going to be great. And we all feel confident that God's doing the work in me still. And so when we just, we kind of came to the realization this is the time for me to step aside and for Student Ministries to step forward and go on. So that's the brief announcement. I know Ben wanted to say some things, but we definitely wanted to bring you in. Sorry you're learning about this, leaders, through an email. We really wish we could huddle everyone together, but the process had to be very short, and we'll talk about a gathering in a moment.
Yeah, this is not the way any of us envisioned this really going, but we're also sensing God's hand in it and are trusting that. I think it's the thing that sticks out in one of the conversations was when we kind of allowed ourselves to even verbalize that maybe a transition is what made most sense for Matt and his family right now. Matt said, I feel a combination of grief and relief. And the grief is understandable because there's nobody that has more passion and love for the Lord, love for the kids, the students of this church and this community, for the leaders that, like you, who have come alongside him, become his colleagues, brothers and sisters in the trenches. That's what makes this really hard for Matt. It's not about him not having that desire, that passion at all. It's about the fact that just under the circumstances in his life right now, it's hard. And I think it's harder than probably any of us realize. I think Matt, I said yesterday, I think sometimes maybe Matt even doesn't fully admit the kind of toll it's had on him. And he just said, that's exactly right. And it's hard having a kid with cancer. There's a couple more years of that, and it seems like when we allowed ourselves to say this seems like what God is saying needs to be your focus for the next little while, as painful as that was because of the grief side of giving up this thing he loved so much. Yeah. The relief side was a sense of clarity about God's in this, and I just want to make sure that you all know Matt's heart in this is that he loves you guys, and the hardest part of this is, stepping away from the day-to-day trenches with you all, but that his firm conviction, and we just support him 100% and love him tremendously and admire his passion and have thoroughly just loved every minute of his partnership on this team. And but I love the way he just has a positive vision about the future, which is we talking about Abraham. Yeah. Abraham got called. He didn't know exactly where he was called, and I think that's how we feel about right now with Matt and Carrie. Are not certain what's exactly next. We're not certain exactly the shape and what the future is for Mountain Ministries, but we know this, God's in it, and it's going to be great, and this decision is a step toward that for Matt and for us. And so we're in that. We want to say anything about the future? You want me to do that now, or why don't you? Anything else you want to?
You know, one of the things that when we had talked about in that meeting was certainly not wanting to. The relationship with Mountain, love to see it continue. Ben asked a lot of questions like, where do you feel your sweet spot is and those things, and we really were able to have an honest discussion, because certainly, as all of you want to be where God wants you to be, whether it's volunteerism or it's your occupation, whatever it is, and you always want to be where God wants you to be, because you want God to move there, and you don't want to be put in a place where you're just accepting something. So for a stewardship reason, the words I verbalized was I love Mountain. I'd love to be part of what's going on here, and if there's an opportunity, that's great. And if not, I fully understand, and excitedly there is for a season. And we're kind of sorting this thing around. You'll get more information probably in a note or this weekend about what that role will be. But we're excited about a transition that's temporary, just for us to kind of figure out what Mountain's doing, what I'm going to do. But it'll be great to see you guys around and keep going that direction.
Makes it easier for all of us to have. It makes it easier news to swallow about Matt transitioning out of student ministries, to know that he will be around. You all know him well. You know his passion for outreach for the lost, and we don't really have a person playing point role in that right now on our team. And so certainly from now to the end of the year, we figured out a way that we can steal Matt and use some of his passion and gifts in that area. It'll give him and Carrie some time to kind of just assess and figure out where God's leading them, especially. And for the month of June, we've asked Matt to just take a break and to rest and be replenished, and to let God love on them, and to do things that will really build into their family and to him personally. And so starting July, end of the year, we'll be excited to have Matt around. There's obviously lots of planning and exciting things that Matt and you guys have already had on the calendar for the summer for student ministries. Just want to let you know that if you're listening to this video, it means that you are a leader in student ministries, and now is a time when you're definitely needed. I mean, the best way to honor Matt would be to step up and help our kids. There's going to be some extra events that Jerry Baker and Ethan Magnus and Lydia Oliver and Abby Scarfs, who's going to be kind of our Jenna for the summer, and I think for JD and a few others I'm sure are coming in, obviously with Blake, going to be coming in just to help put some things together for the summer. It's a time for everyone to step up, pull together, and help our kids, especially through the transition. You guys know that's Matt's heart on this. So
it's really, if you're questioning the time will be effective literally this weekend. It'll be announced for the stage, and the Sunday the 5th, we'll have a time to get together. It's kind of a toast and roast. You can share some fun stories, well wishes about me, and make fun of me. That'd be great. Love you guys to death. So let's make it fun and memorable. But that'll be this Sunday from 6 to 8. And effective then, that will be my ending of responsibilities for student ministries, and it needs to be quick. There's so much excitement that is planned for this summer, and we wanted just to kick off the first fuel the following Sunday with so much energy and momentum to build into the summer and into the fall. And that'll happen, and I'm excited to watch that go down. And the last thing, I know this is a long video, folks, but please just tune into it. There's 2 more important things we just have to cover, and the one thing is, please understand the pastoral nature and God-centered this whole thing has been. Obviously, one thing that we worry about is if it looks like it was a moral ethical issue on my end. I want to keep character in this, and also I definitely want to defend the church to let them know the pastoral nature, that this was just a prayerful thing. This wasn't something we had secretly planned for weeks or months. This was in that meeting 2 weeks ago. We felt God bring that to our spirits, and that's when this thing started moving forward. And I'm just so thankful for Ben and Rob and Jerry, who are mentoring me through this transition and praying with me and helping me figure out what strengths and weaknesses are. Because like I said, we all want to be where we fit. So please know that. And I think, Ben, you had some prayer requests that.
We just want to pray. We've been doing a lot of praying with different folks, even prior to this video, and it just seems like that's the most important thing we could do. So just pull together in prayer. And I think of a few areas that we've been kicking around that we've been praying for, and certainly most obviously we want to be praying for Matt and for Carrie and their family, the boys and Quinn as we call them, there's a lot to pray for there. Just the weirdness of Matt knowing with a sense of deep confidence this is the right thing, but still the weirdness of being kind of in limbo land about exactly what the future holds. It's a step of faith, but it's still a scary place. So there's that. There's Ian's health, and we're praying for God to continue to do wondrous things in his life, and just for their whole family. So Matt and Carrie and all the things that go with that, and the difficulty of these conversations and things that pulling at his heart, and then as he transitions into the new role here, just to be able to hit the ground running and a refreshment for June. There's a lot to pray for Matt and Carrie. Yeah. Enough about you. And we need to pray for the students. I think that's first and foremost in everyone's mind. You know, obviously we've been through some transition in the past. I get emotional thinking about the kids who are like juniors, like my own son, and a bunch of people there, and who are sophomores, and that really Matt's what they know. And they have a deep affection and appreciation for Matt. And so we want to pray for them through this transition and help them see that, in fact, what Matt's dream has been for them to be is developed as Christ followers and leaders to step up, and that this is a time for them. And to pray certainly for the rest of your team, the adult leaders, that this will be in some ways your finest hour to be able to rise, pull together, and just provide exactly what's needed for the student ministry. We need to pray for our church as well. Anytime there's a transition or change, it raises fears in us or whatever, and there's opportunity for disunity and for the devil to have a heyday. And so we just want to pray against that, and that something that we feel God's leading in doesn't become something that the devil gets a chance to lead in. And then just for the future of our ministry, we're obviously going to be trying to ask God, okay, will you help us see who the right person is to come and who has that gift mix to do what is here for the next season? You brought Matt to us. Thank you for that. But God, we need to do it again and show us what the next season is supposed to look like. So be praying about the future of student ministries, and be more information on all that later. But lots to pray for, and just thank you all so much for your support of Matt. Not only in the ministry to this point, but through this transition, and more importantly, beyond Matt, for the ministry of the Lord and to these kids.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. Thanks for checking this out, and hope to see some of you Sunday. If not all of you, that would be great. But we know it's a couple days away. So love you guys. Look forward to talking to you. Feel free to call or email any questions or thoughts that you have, and we'll talk to you soon.